People of color can't be racist towards white people. Why do you think that, Lucy?
I think prejudice and racism are separate. So anyone of any demographic can hold, not so pleasant views towards other demographics, but to actually hold institutional power and systemically oppress and marginalize is a completely separate issue.
Well, so there's like institutional racism, systemic racism, but you don't believe in individual racism?
Oh, that's just prejudice.
No, that would be racism. So, for example, if a individual white
Oh
person,
my God, you're white-splaining to me.
well, that's racist in and of itself, coming from an Asian woman, I suppose. But you would agree that a white person could say a slur towards like a black person, and that would be racist, right?
Right, yeah.
Right, but it wouldn't be like institutionally racist
So
or systemically racist.
it would be perpetuating pre-existing institutional barriers.
I'm not, perpetuating. Okay.
Right. Well, because think about like the slur for black people would be the N-word, and then
Sure.
there's a slur for white people, which is because of slavery.
Don't say it.
But you can say one word and you can't say the other.
Don't say it for the platforms.
Oh,
yeah, licensure.
Just call them saltines.
Just say the C word or
saltines.
whatever. Okay, that's fine.
It's literally a food. Okay, sorry.
Okay. So you're saying that there can't be an instance of individual racism that a white person experiences in the United States. If I went to China, could I experience racism?
Probably not, because they love white people over there. Like, they really love you guys.
Okay, well, couldn't you make that same argument here in the United States?
But white Americans generally don't love people of color or minorities. And
Are you kidding me? Hold on. What is the dominant? What would you say is like the dominant culture in the United States when it comes to like music and?
well, I think Americans, we love hip hop music. We love to adopt and.
Wow, if it was the case, how could like hip hop and rap ever be mainstream?
Well, because we love certain aspects of people's cultures, while we can still harbor our own prejudice and ill will.
So you think all these
them.
white people who love rap music are like secretly
No,
racist?
not at all. I just think how you feel about one aspect of someone's culture doesn't absolve you of having any sort of implicit biases towards that particular demographic of people.
You can hate Mexicans and love tacos.
Okay, yeah, sure, that's true. But again, so you're saying a white person in China, for example, could not experience racism?
I think, well, that's a completely separate social system, but generally speaking, Asians tend to love Western culture and white people, and a white person could experience marginalization, but you can't apply that same logic here in America.
Yeah, but I'm asking, could a white person experience racism in China?
I still wouldn't say it's racism. I would still say it's prejudice.
Hold on, are white people the institutional power in China? Or are Chinese people have systemic and institutional power?
Well,
Here. No, go ahead, answer.
I was going to say, because Western supremacy has been pervasive throughout all different areas of the world. So even in areas like East Asia,
China is antagonistic towards the West.
But still, we still adopt Eurocentric ideals of beauty and still uphold American.
Liberal word salad. Okay, so just to be clear, how do you define racism?
Well, racism is when there is a dominant social constructed group that is in power that wields the institutional and systemic power to oppress and marginalize other folks who are not in that particular demographic.
Okay, great. So even using your completely ridiculous and definition of racism, just for the sake of conversation, I'll grant it. Under your own definition, a white person could experience racism in China.
Marginalization or prejudice, or they're not the same thing.
Okay, can I ask you a question? If the government of China decided to kill all white tourists in the country, would that be racist?
I mean, that's extremely
genocidal.
far-fetched.
Would it be a racist policy? Or is that just prejudice?
No, it would be a hate crime.
Would it be racist, though?
I mean, it would be a race-based hate crime, but
would it be racist?
I wouldn't use that terminology.
So it's just prejudice. How could it possibly be? Hold on. I'm giving you a different civilization, a different society where Chinese people hold all levels of institutional power. Like, as a white person, can I become a member of the CCP?
I mean, if you got citizenship.
Hold on. Can even white people like go to Japan? And I'm not sure if they ever can become Japanese, but somebody who's Japanese or from any country can come to America and become American. And they can actually join the political system. So again, I'm asking you, if I were to move to China, or there were white people in China, and the CCP, they had some policy where they're like, you know what, we don't like these white people in our country, we're just going to kill all of them. Would that be racist?
I know you want me to say yes, but I'm saying based on the vernacular alone, I don't think.
I feel like this is a layup.
She's not going to say yes.
I know.
But this
she's
is-
not going to say yes.
I just
She'll
think
never
that
admit it. It's like defeat if she admits.
But it's a
No,
total
it's not
layup.
that. It's just like the definition.
We're just
alone.
arguing semantics.
Okay, how about this?
South
How about-
Africa.
Sure.
Where they're killing all the
I don't
white
think-
farmers.
I don't think if you want to make this argument that, well, okay, in Asian countries they pedestalize white people, there's some dispute there, but okay, fine, whatever.
They do that. In my country, they do that. But it's because you guys accomplished a lot more.
Okay, Mary, you got to be really careful with her angle here. Okay, so what about there's certain African countries where there's like not really any positive sentiment towards white people. They hold all the power. Black people hold all the power in these African countries. Could there be racism towards white people in an African country?
I mean, are the white people currently being subjugated to any sort of oppressive regimes or hate
Yes.
crimes?
I'll just give you a
Yes.
hypothetical. Let's say there's it doesn't even have to necessarily, how about like a white person goes to an African country and an individual citizen of said African country murders them because they're white? Would that be racist?
It would be a race-based hate crime.
Would it be racist?
I mean, my only qualm is with the semantics here, because
What are the
obviously it's
semantics?
race-based.
No, but explain, okay, again, what is the definition of racism?
Well, to me, it's about the power structures that are existing, not just about one race hating another race.
Okay, so, but I'm using your definition. You're talking about power structure. So I'm assuming in an African country, for example, it's not white people who have any power in the said African country.
Well, certain areas.
Okay, great, South Africa, but even they aren't really in power as much anymore. I'm talking in Nigeria. Let's use Nigeria. I don't think there's like a really much representation of white people in their government system. The government system is, to my understanding, entirely made up of black people.
Sure, but it still doesn't absolve what has happened with, again, the Eurocentrism that has been so pervasive throughout the entire world, which is why you see all sorts of cultures going through practices like skin lightening or trying to make themselves look whiter.
What would that have to do with a black person murdering a white person in an African country because they don't like white people? How is that not racist?
It's a race-based hate crime. I'm just saying it's prejudice.
Why won't you put the racist title to it?
Well, because I just don't think that's an accurate use of the word.
But I'm using...
What is the words mean?
Okay, repeat the definition to me because I must be missing something in your definition. Repeat it.
Okay, no, the only thing is, like, the difference is that there is a dominant group that is in power that holds socio-political and economic capital and currency in some sense.
But if someone kills a bunch
White
of
people don't have any of that in African countries or in Asian countries.
No, they definitely do.
No,
Because
they don't.
globally, white folks hold a lot of social
Hold on, just to be clear, I think there are probably more Asian Americans who have power in America than there are white people who have power in any sort of form of government in any Asian countries.
Oh, that's not true. That's the model
Really?
minority
How many
myth.
white people are in the CCP?
But that's the CCP.
Okay, how many white people are in government in Japan?
Why are we looking at East Asia, though?
Okay, where do you want to go? Laos, Vietnam? Where do you want to go?
No,
Cambodia? I probably there's not white people in positions of power in any of these Asian countries.
Well, sure, but I'm just saying that that's the government, and that's not the same thing as substantive equality or representation on a global scale.
Bro, that's a bunch of word salad. What?
You're also catching me at 2 a.m. But
Yeah, it's like 2:30, Brian. I gotta drive home.
All right, I'll wrap it soon. I'm gonna get this wrapped.
And truly, I mean, I don't want to fall asleep on the road.
We don't want you to
How
get
far is your drive?
hurt.
2 hours.
same.
It's like serious.
I mean, Lucy, we can run it back, but
I would love to go on a second date with you too.
thank you, appreciate it. I just genuinely don't understand the logic here because I'm meeting your definition of racism.
Well,
I'm literally meeting your how about this? This is one I often like to give.
Okay.
Let's say Barack Obama, when he was president, he refused to hire a white janitor because the janitor was white in the White House. Would that be racist?
It would be prejudiced and bigoted, but it still wouldn't be
Okay,
racist.
let me ask you clarifying questions.
Okay.
Your definition of racism is prejudice plus power, basically?
Basically, if you were to simplify it.
Okay, so Barack Obama at the time was the president of the United States of America, the most powerful nation in the world,
Yes.
most powerful military. He's the, what's the term? Commander-in-chief of the United States military. He is the leader of the executive branch of the government. And he's the leader of the executive branch of the government, and this government is the most powerful government in the world. The United States government, the executive branch, is an institution, and it's also systemic. It's a system. How does this then not meet your definition of power plus prejudice? If Barack Obama at the time was the most powerful man in the world, and he was the leader of systems and institutions, and he was prejudiced towards a white person, that would then be racist under your metric of prejudice plus power.
Well, no, because just because Barack Obama individually is a man of power, that doesn't necessarily mean that he is absolved of his identity as a black man.
Yeah,
And
he's still
throughout-
black, sure.
And throughout his presidency, he was targeted a lot for his blackness, but that's beside the point.
Yeah,
So,
very red herring.
so still, not.
Okay.
Anyways,
Yeah.
but so because of blackness still being entrenched in his identity, he still carries this marginalized identity with him throughout his presidency. And therefore, you can't just say, oh, because he's president, therefore anything he does is inherently either racist or whatever other type of ist because he has a position of power through his job, but not through his identity.
I see. Okay, okay, if you want to dodge it, I can give you another example. Let's say there's a corporation that it's a black-owned business, massive international corporation. This is hypothetical. I'm not citing to an actual company. And it's United States-based. This corporation, international, makes billions of dollars a year. And the entire board of directors, all black, ownership black, leadership black. And they refuse to hire white janitors, and these white janitors are clear, and these are all millionaires, by the way, black millionaires, but the white janitors all come from a really low socioeconomic.
So it's classist.
Okay, here you don't know their socioeconomic status, but I think it's fair to assume if somebody's working as a janitor, probably not really high up when it comes to socioeconomics. Is that racist?
That's classist above all else.
How? Okay, but no. It's
We've
not
got to
classist.
agree
Hold
to
on,
disagree,
hold on.
guys.
Hold on. It's not classist because the reason they won't hire them is not because of their class. They happen to be of a low socioeconomic class, but the reason that these black millionaires who run this corporation, the reason that they cite to is that because they're white, they won't hire them because they're white.
That is also a race-based prejudice.
Yo, scoot your mic. Don't lean on the table. Scoot your mic. Go ahead.
Yeah, so it's a race-based prejudice, and it's unjust and it's wrong. But I mean, I still my only issues with the semantics. I'm not arguing with you on the ethics or the morality because I agree with you that it's not right. I'm just saying for the vernacular of what the definition.
Yeah,
is.
but I mean, if you just change the definition to people named Lucy are racists, to be a racist, you must be named Lucy, and that's it. Then I could just say that you're a racist.
You could,
You
yeah.
just changed
but I didn't change the definition.
changed the definition to suit your political ideology.
I didn't change the definition.
You are. It's not the definition. It's not the definition. Here, I'll Google it and I can read it to you. Here, watch racism. Super easy. Prejudice, discrimination, or antagonism by an individual, community, or institution against a person or people on the basis of their membership in a particular racial or ethnic group.
The dictionary is not all encompassing of all sociological factors.
Well, up until like 10 years ago, all this wokeism bullshit, that was the accepted definition of what racism
What
was.
does this have to do with dating?
I don't know.
How did we get here?
She made me print these out.